Yo, what's up guys, Sice here. In today's video, I'll be introducing you the most updated Splashyard guide, basically covering all possible matchups in top ladder. So for most of these games, I invited the best player of each deck to enhance the game quality and to give more tips on that particular matchup. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the video today. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and we will hop on into our first game. Oh, and also let me know in the comment section on how you thought of the video and any suggestions you have for the future videos. So in our first game here, we're up against Evo, who is considered one of the best Logbait players right now. He finished number 1 in the most recent global tournament with Logbait. And here he is using the Logbait version without the Rocket, but with the Evo Dark Goblin, which is one of the most difficult matchups that all of my subscribers thought that I should cover in the guide. So for every single Logbait deck that is meta right now, there are going to be using the Evo Barrel. So versus an Evo Barrel, as I mentioned a few times in my previous videos, it's very important for you to save your bar barrel on the second barrel, which is the barrel right before the Evo barrel, because the Logbait deck will have a quicker cycle than Splashyard, meaning that they can outcycle your bar barrel on the third Evo barrel, meaning that you need to save your bar barrel for the real Evo barrel. So here he is back to his Evo barrel, but we have him bar barrel ready. So we can get a cannon down, and we have a bar barrel ready for the Evo barrel. Ice Wizard on top of the fake one, and that Ice Wizard is going to perfectly defend the whole push on the left side. It's actually a pretty decent matchup when your opponent doesn't have Rocket with the Logbait deck, if you make sure that you are covering the Evo barrel cycle. So here, he could go for Princess at the bridge. So whenever your opponent has Princess on hand, just make sure that you have the appropriate cards ready for the Princess. So he went for a crazy play right there, going for Log and Ice Spirit on our guards, expecting us to snipe that Princess down. This is why Evo is considered one of the best Logbait players. He's really good at those prediction plays, and we can go for Knight here actually. Go for guards for that barrel. And that's going to be perfect defense because he went for barrel at the side, and the guards full counter the barrel if the barrel is thrown out at the side. We can go for a graveyard here because he went for Dark Goblin at the middle. He wasted his log as well, so we can go for a poison on the Goblin gang because the Dark Goblin is basically dead from the Knight. And that's going to be a lot of damage because he wasted his Dark Goblin and his log. So the tower is already down to 967. So at this point, we can just spell cycle him with the poison and a few graveyards if we can make a proper timing. We can go for bar barrel at the back because he went for a barrel at the back here. We gain the Ice Wizard for the Princess. So versus these Logbait decks, it's also very important for you to know where the barrel is thrown at, because these Logbait players will always try to trick you with those barrel placements, especially if you have a bar barrel, by throwing them at the side, the left or the right, at the center, or at the front or the back. So make sure that you know those placements by playing a lot of games versus these Logbait decks. So here we can go for a Goblin side at the back. The Dark Goblin is going to go for the left side, so we can go for a bar barrel. He might try to save it actually. Yeah, he does try to save it, and we can get an Ice Wizard down for the Dark Goblin. That is actually a crazy play right there, but I think, yeah, we can get a cannon here. Like, look at that, guys. Like, one push from the barrel, and because we have the Cannoneer Tower, if they get the lucky interactions and they get the proper aggressive plays done, then this could be a close game already. So the tower is down to 599. He goes for that, and we can go for a cannon like there to expect the Princess. I knew that he was going to do that because a lot of these good Logbait players try to go for a Princess at the bridge even though there is a troop on the board, because they could get a Princess splash on the tower with the guards right there. We can go for prediction guards again for the Princess. Let's go, guys. We got the prediction down. But it's also very important for you to make those prediction plays only in double or triple elixir, because if you fail to make those prediction plays, then you can just lose the game immediately. But yeah, we can get a poison down on the tower. We just need one more poison. Evo Cannon for the Evo Dark Goblin. Bar Barrel and Ice Wizard for the Evo Barrel. Get a poison down to take the game, guys. Very nice win, and I'll see you guys in the next game. The next matchup that we will cover is the Evo Witch Graveyard, which is quite a hard counter, but if your opponent has a Cannoneer Tower, then you might have a slight chance. So here I brought my friend Starlight here, who is considered one of the best graveyard players in the world right now, and he will be using Evo Witch Graveyard with the Goblin Hut. So in this matchup, Versus any graveyard mirror matchups, my number one tip is gonna be to use your poison offensively, not defensively, because even if you use poison on defense, the skeletons will get at least like 2 or 3 hits, which is a lot of damage considering that you're using a 4 elixir card to defend a 5 elixir card. So it's just better to use your troops like the Ice Wizard or Goblin or the guards to defend the graveyard and get a decent counter push ongoing. So in this matchup, it's very important for you to make a counter push, not try to go for an aggressive graveyard in single elixir, because the witch is one of the best counters to graveyard because it spawns skeletons, which is gonna distract the skeletons that come from our graveyard. So yeah, we can go for a knight here. We can't really go for a graveyard here because he has witch, but if he only has a normal witch, then we can go for a graveyard. But if he has an Evo Witch, then try to avoid going for these graveyard pushes, because even if you use poison plus graveyard, the Evo Witch will revive from those skeletons that it spawned on itself. But the Evo Witch, it's fine to go for graveyard pushes if you have a good elixir advantage here. We can get a bar barrel down for the knight plus witch on the left side. Very nice. We are in a pretty decent spot here. But now that he has Evo Witch, we have to make sure that we are very defensive in our plays right here. We can't go for an aggressive graveyard because we can just get punished in by a single Evo Witch counter push, because we can't kill an Evo Witch with full HP. So he went for Goblin Hut at the back, so we can go for Knight at the back right there. He has an Evo Knight down. So here I think... Okay, so we can go for a graveyard here because he went for poison and he has to go for Evo Witch on defense, and we have our Goblinstein in cycle for the for defense for his graveyard. So yeah, that's actually a lot of damage. Even if we went for poison on the Evo Witch, that is still on full HP. That is crazy. But we have our Goblinstein for his graveyard push here, so he does know that we are gonna go for it. So he does go for a pre-poison on the tower. That graveyard is gonna be full cleared out though. We can get a bar barrel plus Evo Cannon, try to snipe that Evo Witch. Very nice. It actually died right there. If the Evo Witch survived from that push, then it would have been a very bad situation for us, but now it's fine. He went for a very bad Goblin Head right there, but we can go for prediction poison. Okay, we do get an Ice Wizard on the poison down. The skeletons from the graveyard is actually just spawned extra spear goblins on the from the Goblin Head, which is crazy, but it's fine. We can get a bar barrel down for the witch. We can get a Goblinstein for the graveyard. I'm not, in my opinion, I think in terms of these graveyard mirror matchups, I think try to be less risky in terms of your plays. So go for like Goblinstein and ability for every single graveyard push, because it's just less risky and you will not get any damage from the graveyard if you get the Goblinstein plus ability right on time. So here, this is the crazy push that he has. He has an Evo Witch plus Ice Wizard down. The Ice Wizard does get one hit on the tower, which is kind of bad. But yeah, the ability does get very good value right there on the graveyard. The Evo Witch is going crazy right there. We can get a cannon down. We do have to go for the offensive poison here because we cannot get a Goblinstein plus ability right down on time. We can get an Evo Knight down for the Evo Witch tank right there. We can get an Ice Wizard, and the Cannoneer is locked in for the Evo Witch. Starlight is in the lead right now, but we can get a Graveyard down and a Poison down for his Witch right there. He has Evo Witch next, so we have to be careful again. So right now, it's just all about defense right here. We can get a pre-Goblinstein right there. Go for an ability down. We do have to go for an Ice Wizard because the Goblinstein was kind of spawned in a bad spot, but still we can get a Graveyard down again. Go for a Bar Barrel, another poison for the Evo Witch to kill those skeletons, and we just need to make sure that we are defending this quite well. We only have 20 seconds left. Get guards down, get an Ice Wizard down right here, get a Knight down to minimize just damage right here. We just need to get a poison down and just defend right here. We can get an Evo Cannon down, please. Okay, I think we won here, guys. Very nice. We get the win, guys. So versus these graveyard mirror matchups, just make sure that you are using your poison offensively and defend the graveyard properly. And I'll see you guys in the next game. The next matchup that we'll be covering is Bridgespam with the Boss Bandit and the Evo Executioner. And I brought my friend Issei here, who is the best player with this deck, and also the person who actually made this deck. So here he is using the Evo Executioner and the Evo Snowball with the Ram Rider, which actually pairs really well. And this deck is actually one of the best decks for the past few seasons because it counter most Evo Witch decks because it has a lightning in it, and the deck balance overall is pretty good. And we can go for a poison on the Executioner here. We went for the Goblin's ability right there because we didn't have the proper ground cards to counter the Bandit right there. So the Executioner will die to the Cannoneer, but I knew that he was going to go for another extra ground card right there. So we went for an Ice Wizard right there. He goes for a Snowball to clear out that Ice Wizard as well. We can go for a Knight here. The only issue that we could possibly face is when your opponent has an Evo Snowball, where your opponent is going to go for an Evo Snowball plus Lightning plus Ram Rider, which is going to be the toughest play that you're going to defend throughout the whole game. We can go for a Barb Barrel here to clear out that Bandit right there. We can go for Goblinstein. He could go for a Lightning here on the Cannon and the Goblinstein as well. Yeah, right there. So we can get a Guards down for the Ram Rider, and we can go for a Graveyard here. So I saw a lot of comments where people were asking when we should go for a Graveyard in single elixir. This is exactly when you have to go in with your Graveyard pushes. When your opponent goes for an aggressive push in single elixir and you have the proper troops for your counter attack right there. So here he went for Ram Rider plus Lightning, so he used 11 elixir at the board, and we had a healthy Goblinstein monster down, so we went for a Graveyard push to get a lot of damage in single elixir. So we can go for Goblinstein on the same lane as the boss Bandit. We do not have guards in cycle right now, but next card is guards. So, and also versus this Evo Executioner Ram Rider deck, it's very important for you to be aware that your opponent could go for an Evo Executioner at the bridge right there, because they will look for those crazy plays where the Executioner just walks at the bridge and just gets those piercing shots in the tower. So very nice defense right there with the Evo Executioner targeting the Evo Knight, and we got the cannon down on the anti-lightning spot to prevent him from sniping the cannon down with the lightning. So we do get a very nice counter push with the Evo Knights here, but still we need to be careful because he has Evo Snowball in cycle right now. So the Cannoneer will clear out that Bandit right there. He goes for Ram Rider at the back. It's very likely that your opponent could go for a Ram Rider at the back, because if you just go for a Ram Rider at these at the bridge, then we have a lot of troops that will perfectly counter the Ram Rider. So he goes for Evo Snowball on defense, which is pretty good for us, because if he goes for Evo Snowball on offense and gets the appropriate troops and spells down, then it's going to be pretty difficult for us to defend. The matchup overall here is pretty decent, but you just need to make sure that you have your opponent's Evos checked in, especially the Evo Snowball, because the Evo Snowball is like the main issue that you could face in this matchup. So the tower is down to 902. We just need to be very defensive here. Go for Goblinstein at the back, and yeah, he goes for Bandit at the back here as well. We can get an Evo Knight for the Ghost. Yeah, he does go for Executioner. We can go for Graveyard plus Barb Barrel. Yeah, nice. He went for Lightning on our troops, so he does not have enough elixir to defend our Graveyard. And that's going to be a good game, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next game. The next matchup that we will cover is 3.0 xbow. I brought in Bethis, who is the best xbow player in the world right now, obviously, because he finished top 1 in the world 2 times in the last 3 months, which is very crazy. Even though xbow is one of the best win conditions in the current game right here. So versus 3.0 xbow, the only main issue that you could possibly face is the tower difference, meaning that they have Princess and you have Cannoneer, so you could be quite behind in terms of the spell cycle race. So it's actually fine to just go for poison on the tower, as they would do for just going for fireball on the tower. Just try to spell cycle the same way that your opponent will do it. So we can get guards down here. I didn't go for Goblinstein down because he would just get a free fireball down for our Ice Wizard and Goblinstein. So here we can just go for a Barb Barrel on the Expo right there. He does catch it with the skeleton, so we are forced to go for an extra card, going for a cannon right there, and we get an Ice Wizard down right here, guys. So it's also very important for you to expect those sudden fireballs that's just gonna kill your ice wizard or your cannon or anything that's gonna be very low HP that they are gonna try to get an expo lock in single elixir. So in this matchup, I think the most important tip that you should know is to try to cycle your cannon on the same tempo as your opponent's archers. It's because Evo archers are the key of 3.0 expo, and that you actually need the Evo cannon to snipe the Evo archers down, and we can get a poison down on the Tesla on the right side. He does not defend the expo on the left side because if he actually tried to go for like 2 or 3 elixir to try to defend the expo, then I could have just gone for a graveyard push on the right side and he would have got a lot of damage. So yeah, we can just split guards here, and we have to save our Evo cannon for his archers. We can, okay, he went for log and e-spear to perfectly clear out that those guards on the right side. We can get a Goblin Sign, and the one hit from the Goblin Sign and the Barbarian will clear out the archer right there. And we do save our Evo cannon here. Just go for your guards at the low on the left side. Get a Ice Wizard down on the left side because he went for a Fireball on our Knight. We can get a Graveyard plus Barbarian because he doesn't have E-Spirit in cycle. He could go for an Evo Archers right there. Just I went for Poison on the Evo Archers because we had a pretty good cycle to go for poison on the Evo Archers. We are down like 200 damage, which means that we are not in a pretty good spot because if we go for like triple elixir, then they will just cycle Fireball on the tower and they will just get infinite value from it. And we can get a Knight down right here. Still, we're trying to save our Evo Cannon as much as possible because we need it for the Evo Archers right there. So yeah, we can, okay. We can get a poison down for the Tesla on the right side. Just the most important thing in this matchup is try to cycle your Evo Knight and your poison on the tower. You can get a Graveyard plus Bar Barrel because he went for just Fireball and Log on the tower because he is never getting an Expo Log if he doesn't get one in single elixir. So the tower is down to 2037. We are in a slight lead here, but so versus Expo, I think it's better to go for an opposite lane because you can cycle your Goblin Sign at the back and get the 3-card cycle ongoing with the Graveyard and the Knights right here. We can get a Barbaro down for the Expo. Evo Cannon to predict something that will try to protect from the Barbaro. And we do catch the E-Spirit luckily as well. We get a poison down on the Tesla. We do miss the Evo Archers, but it's going to be fine because we have an Evo Knight in cycle. If he goes for an Expo at the bridge, he does go for it, so we can get an Evo Knight down on the low left side, not on the center, because he has an Evo Archer ready on the right side as well. We can get a Goblin Sign and Graveyard on the right side, get a poison down for the Archers as well. That is quite a lot of damage. Still, that's not enough, so you can get Guard Split at the back right here, and try to go for a cannon to predict his expo. He doesn't go for an expo. There's only 20 seconds left, so he's trying to go for Fireball cycle on the tower. He's probably going to get like 2 more Fireballs on the tower, so we can get a poison down for the Archers, get an Ice Wizard down. Maybe we can get one more Graveyard, maybe not. I don't think he's going to get an extra Fireball right there. He might place it, but he's not going to be on time. Very nice win, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next game. The next matchup that we will cover is Mega Knight Wall Breakers, and we will be facing Kyrie, also known as Hooper, and he will be using Mega Knight Wall Breakers without the Miner, but with the Archer Queen and the Goblin Gang and the Prince. He finished top 2 in the global tournament a few seasons ago, which means that he is the best Mega Knight player right now. He will be using the Mega Knight Wall Breakers deck with the Evo Wall Breakers and the Prince as well. So here he goes for arrows. This deck has only one good graveyard counter, which is going to be the Goblin Gang, and this is going to be a very good matchup, but the only tricky part will be the Prince. But since we have guards instead of NATO now, it's going to be way easier to defend the Prince now. But still, because they have arrows and zap, if you get an unlucky interaction, then you can just lose the game immediately. the biggest tip that I could give you in this matchup is try to save your graveyard in single elixir and wait for double elixir. Even if you have a good elixir advantage in single elixir, we can get a poison down on the Archer Queen. And we can get a Bar Barrel down as well. He could pop the ability right there. Yeah, he does go for an ability. We can get an Ice Wizard down on top of the Mega Knight and the Archer Queen to clear that out. If he goes for a Prince on the right side, then we can get guards down. So this is the reason why having guards is way better. If we had NATO instead of guards at this position, I think Hooper would have gone for a Prince at the bridge on the opposite lane because we didn't have anything good in cycle to defend the Prince. But since we have guards now, it's very important for it's very difficult for them to break through at this position. We can get an Evo Knight at the very high of the board, at the very center of the board, sorry, and we can get an Evo Knight down, and we can get a Graveyard down on the left side. Since Goblin Gang is his only good Graveyard counter and he doesn't have it in cycle, we can go for it on the left side. We can get a Barber on the right side. He could pop the ability up, but the Archer Queen will walk, and we can get an Evo Cannon right away so that the Wall Breakers and the Bandits both come to the center, and that's going to be perfect defense, guys. So yeah, we can get a Goblin Sign at the back because he doesn't have a way to punish our Goblin Sign at the back. He doesn't have a big spell, so we can get a Knight down on the center. We can get a counter push on the right side, on the left side, sorry. We can get an Ice Wizard. For the Wall Breakers, we can get Poison for the Archer Queen. That's a lot of damage on the left side. And the Ice Wizard will probably hit the Archer Queen, I think. Yeah, he does know that, so he goes for a Bandit to snipe the Ice Wizard. We can get a Bar Barrel down for the Archer Queen. We do kill the Archer Queen. We get a Cannon down. This is going to be... Okay, we can get an Ice Wizard here. He does have the Prince on the right side. We can get guards down for the Prince. He is going to go for arrows. We do get a Bar Barrel down, so it's going to be pretty easy defense with the Cannoneer. Cannoneer is really, really good in this matchup, especially because he has a lot of good tanky units that is quite difficult to kill if you have a Princess Tower. So yeah, he went for a Goblin Gang at the bridge. So again, we can go for a Goblin Sign plus Graveyard, especially also because he didn't have Evo Mega Knight in cycle. He only had a normal Mega Knight, sorry, and he didn't have Goblin Gang in cycle as well. So we can get a Ice Wizard down low. We can get guards down for the Bandit, and yeah, we can actually eat the one Wall Breaker shot on the right side, and we can get a counter push on the left side with the Knight plus Ice Wizard. He is forced to go for an Evo Mega Knight on this push, I think. Yeah, he does for an Evo Mega Knight early so that the Goblin Sign does not tank for the Graveyard. That's a very good play right here. He goes for Zap for our Graveyard, but that's still a lot of damage on the tower. Wait, that's down to 307, so we need 2 more poisons down on the tower. Still, just trying to play safe. We get a poison down. The Archer Queen does walk away from the poison. I don't know why the Archer Queen just decided to not go for the, not stay in the poison. We went for Evo Cannon. It's gonna be perfect. Defense, just get a Graveyard Poison, and I think that's gonna be game. I don't think he can perfectly defend the Graveyard. Yeah, we do get 1 skeleton hit, so that's gonna be good game, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next game. The next matchup that we will cover is Mortar Bait, and we brought in our friend Polaris here. He finished top 2 in the world with Mortar Bait. He is considered one of the best Mortar Bait players in the world right now. And because Mortar Bait has the Cannoneer Tower, it's going to be a pretty easy matchup, but you have to survive single. And also because Mortar Bait uses Spear Gobs now instead of Skeleton Dragons or the Ice Wizard, which they used to play a few seasons ago, it might be a bit trickier because they could get a pretty easy Graveyard defense with the Spear Gobs. But still, I think this will be a pretty decent matchup if you properly cycle your Evo Cannon and don't give a lot of value to your opponent's Skeleton King ability. And we can get a Goblin Sign on the same lane as the Skeleton King so that if he goes for an ability, we can get an ability down to clear off that ability. We can get a Knight to kite that Mortar as well because he went for a Mortar as soon as he saw our Goblin Sign at the back. We can get a Poison down for the Mortar plus Cannon card as well. Cannon card is also a tricky card versus Graveyard because it also does a pretty good job in countering Graveyard. And if your opponent has a Cannon card in cycle, even if your opponent has no Swarm cards in cycle like these Spear Gobs, the Cannon card will do an awesome job in countering the Graveyard, so you do have to watch out. We do go for guards on the miner, but we do fail to catch it because Polars knows that we don't have NATO in our deck, meaning that he could go for miner in any spot, not only on the NATO and on the anti-NATO spot, sorry. So he does go for mortar on the left side. We can get an ice wizard down. He could go for spear gobs on our ice wizard. Yeah, there comes the spear gobs. You can go for barbell right away so that the spear gobs does not kill the ice wizard before it dies, and we can, yeah, those are very good evil bats because we don't have ice wizard in cycle, meaning that we can't snipe those. We can get a Goblin Stein in right there, and we can get guards down to pull it all to the center. That was actually a very good play by Polars, going for a double lane pressure right there. We can go for a graveyard on the right side because he does go for a cannon card at the center, meaning that he only has swarm cards for our graveyard on the right side. Very nice, and we can get a ability down to clear off those Goblin Gang and also clear that cannon card down as well. W ability right there. We can get a cannon down for that Evil Mortar, and we can get an Ice Wizard down for the cannon card plus bats right there. And actually that was a very good defense on our end as well. And the Knight will also clear out the Spear Gobs on the left side as well. We can go for guards to predict his miner at the back. Very nice catch. So I usually expect my opponent to go for miner at the back if they know that I don't have NATO in my deck, because that's the spot where a lot of players go for when they try to go for miner on the tower. We can get an Evil Knight down for the cannon card right there. We do eat the Spear Gobs damage on the right side because we already got a lot of damage on the left side as well. It's also very important for you to try to balance your damages out on the Cannoneer towers. And we can get a poison down for the Spear Gobs, and I think we can get a Evil Cannon down to clear off that Mortar plus Cannon card as well. Very nice. And we are in a very good lead here, and I think we survived single pretty well, meaning that we are in a pretty good spot right now. We can get Ice Wizard. He is going to go for Spirit Gobs again, so we do have to be ready with our Bar Barrel to save it before the Spirit Gobs actually snipe the Ice Wizard before the Mortar locks onto the tower. Very nice, and we can get a Poison down for the Cannon card plus the Goblin Gang. I think that, yeah, the Goblin Stein does get on tower. He doesn't have Recent, and we just need one more poison. Now, actually, we need one more poison and one more skeleton hit on the tower. We can get a Knight down. This is going to be a scary push, though, because he has Evil Mortar and Evil Bats as well. We can get guards to cycle to our Goblin Stein, get a Goblin Stein down, click on the ability right away, get an Ice Wizard down for the Mortar on the left side. He does go for a Miner plus arrows to snipe down our Doctor before it kills everything, but actually, unfortunately, the Doctor survived long enough. We can get guards down to snipe his Mortar. We can get a poison down because if we go for Ice Wizard, the Ice Wizard will die immediately to the Skeleton spawn from the Skeleton King ability, and that's going to be very good defense here. We can get an Evil Cannon down, trying to clear out the Cannon card on the left side as well as clearing out the bats on the right side. Very nice, and we can get an Ice Wizard down. We only have 10 seconds left. We can go for Graveyard plus Poison on the left side because we have a pretty good elixir advantage here as well. Very nice win, and I'll see you guys in the next game. The next matchup that we were covering is Hog EQ. I brought Oyasu, who's my best friend here. He's very good with any cycle decks basically, but especially with Hog and Piggies. So I brought Oyasu to play Pigs EQ and also Piggies EQ. So he goes for Miner, a Mighty Miner at the back. The best Hog EQ variation here will be the Mighty Miner plus the Evil Cannon here. We go for a Bar Barrel on the Firecracker, but he does save the Firecracker. We can get a pretty nice cannon down to get a King Tower activation and only get one hit from the Hog Rider as well. We can just wait here because I was thinking of going for Graveyard on the tower right here, but yeah, we can just wait if he goes for Bridge Block. He doesn't, so we can go for a Graveyard because he went for EQ plus Log on the left side, but he does cycle very quickly with the Ice Spirit Skeletons and the Cannon to get to another EQ. So versus Piggies EQ and Hog EQ, but especially for Hog's EQ, I think the matchup is tough because you don't have NATO in the deck, but you have guards instead. But I think this matchup is totally winnable if you survive single elixir and also if you get your guards down properly. And sometimes because your opponent will not expect you to just defend the Hog Rider with a single guards, because guards plus Cannoneer Tower full counters a Hog Rider if they don't go for log plus EQ to predict your guards. So we can get Evo Knight down on the right side. He will try to probably expect it. Okay, he goes for Mighty Miner for the Evo Knight. But yeah, he does get EQ down. The Mighty Miner will clear out the Evo Knight very quickly. The Mighty Miner is quite an issue in terms of using Splashyard, because the only reset that we have is going to be the Goblin Doctor. And it has a lot of HP. So Cannoneer is our only chance to clear out that Mighty Miner very quickly. We went for a cannon on the anti-EQ spot plus Goblin Sign to push the Hog to the anti-EQ spot. You can usually do that with the Knight Ice Wizard or the Goblin Sign, but usually I just do it with the Knight plus Ice Wizard, Knight or the Ice Wizard, sorry, because it's actually cheap in Elixir, and it's very unlikely that you will push the Hog Rider within Goblin Sign because you need it for your offense right there. So we went for guards on defense right there, guys. So if you actually just see a Hog Rider at the bridge and just place your guards right on top of the Hog Rider, then it will just full counter it right away. And we went for Evil Cannon on top so that it snipes our opponent's cannon right there. We can go for Goblin Sign plus Graver because he doesn't have EQ in cycle, so he has to go for log late, allowing a lot of skeleton hits on the tower. He goes for EQ late, but that's a lot of damage on the tower. So we are yeah, we can go for Barber on the right side. I was expecting him to go for a bridge block, so I was waiting for us to go for a Bar Barrel to expect his bridge block, but he went for a Mighty Miner low. But yeah, we do go for a Graveyard on Poison on the tower right there. And we just need to utilize our 3-card cycle by going for Goblin Sign at the back. So versus these cycle decks, I will just prefer going for opposite lane, unlike beatdown decks where you will just try to go for same lane. So he does go for EQ on offense, meaning that he doesn't have EQ on defense. So we can go for a Poison plus Graveyard. And he does go for a log, but that's still going to be a lot of damage. He will go for another cannon because if he doesn't, then the Goblin Sign will reach the tower. And the Goblin Sign does not reach the tower, but still that's a lot of damage right there. We can get an Ice Wizard, and if he goes for Hog Rider, yeah, we can get a cannon plus Knight down so that we do avoid his EQ sniping our cannon right there. We can get a Graveyard plus Bar Barrel and Poison to snipe his Evil Firecracker. And yeah, we can just get an Evil Cannon down right there. He does go for an Earthquake, but the Cannoneer Tower will just melt down the Hog Rider right there. And he does go for a bridge block right there, but still we have a Graveyard plus Bar Barrel because we knew that he was going to go for it. He went for Ice Spirit to waste our 1 Cannoneer shot so that the Hog Rider gets 1 hit, but still the tower is already down to already down to 48, so we just need 1 more Poison to take the game, guys. So we can go for Bar Barrel on the Firecracker, Knight to cycle, Poison on the tower to take the game, guys. Very nice win, and I'll see you guys in the next game. In the next game, we were up against Oyasu once again. He is one of the best Piggies EQ player as well. He finished top 7 in the world a few seasons ago with Piggies EQ, and he has a really good knowledge, in my opinion, versus Splashyard. So I think this is going to be one of the best players that I could play against using Splashyard. So we can get a Goblin Sign down on the same lane as a Queen. So the reason why Piggies EQ is tough is because even if they don't have a Firecracker or any other troops that could possibly snipe our troops to get tower damage, they still have a lot of defensive cards like the Royal Delivery, Earthquake, and the log that would just full counter our Graveyard right there. So the Cannoneer Tower is going to clear out that Archer Queen on the left side. The reason why we went for ability is to clear out that Archer Queen as much as possible so that the Cannoneer Tower could one-shot the Archer Queen. So most likely, Piggies EQ players will try to avoid us from getting poison value on the tower with the Archer Queen by going for a Queen at the Queen high or going for Queen at the opposite lane where we are going for. So we can actually just get poisons down on the cannon so that he could go for Queen at the back, and we can go for a Goblin Sign at the same lane to get an ability down to clear out the Archer Queen, which is pretty nice. And we can Okay, we can get a Barbaro down the right side because he could go for Piggies straight away, while these skeletons distract the Cannoneer Tower. We can get a Goblin Sign early because he could go for a Piggies at the bridge. Yeah, we can get guards down the left side. The tower, it was on the Archer Queen, so the tower does get one hit on the Archer Queen still. That's pretty good defense because he went for Piggies at 0, I believe. So he didn't have proper elixir to go for a log plus EQ to snipe our whole guards defense on the left side. We can go for a graveyard on the left side because he wasted his log right there. That's still a very good defense with the EQ plus delivery with us getting 0 hits from the graveyard. We can get a Barbaro down on the left side. The Ice Wizard will clear that out. We can get an Evo Cannon down. He could honestly get an Evo Cannon down for defense right there, but he has delivery plus log to just perfectly clear out that graveyard. He has very good knowledge of this deck as well, so we can get Ice Wizard plus guards down and a Barbaro. I think this will fully counter the whole Piggies because guards are very good in terms of clearing out Piggies or Hog at the bridge. So try to utilize that as much as possible because your opponent will likely just try to go for Hog or Piggies at 0 whenever you're trying to go for a graveyard push on the opposite lane. So yeah, so he went for delivery to defend our graveyard once again. We can get an Ice Wizard on the right side so that it could be ready if he goes for Piggies on the right side. We can get a poison down because he went for EQ on our right side tower. The Goblin Sign Doctor does reset the Archer Queen. The Knight is targeting the Archer Queen, which is very nice. We can get a cannon low because he is, I think, forced to go for EQ on defense right there. Okay, he does not. He went for EQ on offense again. So this is a very, very close game here, and one mistake will cost the game here. So Evil Knight back, Ice Wizard on the side that we have to defend. We can get a poison down on the Archer Queen, and we can get a graveyard down on the left side. He would go for a delivery down on our Evil Knight so that it just clears out with the Queen ability. We can get a cannon down. He does have an EQ in cycle, so this is a very good push by Oyasu. The tower is down to 1360. We can get a graveyard down on the left side. We can get a poison down as well because he has a cannon down, and the Knight is tanking for the Goblin Sign monster, so he does need one more cannon down or get a lockdown. He misses the timing, and the Goblin Sign actually reached the tower. So at this point, we just need to play defensively, get a poison down. He is trying to utilize the 3-card cycle with the Archer Queen and get as much EQs as possible. So because he uses his EQ on offense, now we have to utilize our graveyard on the left side. Yeah, the guards are going to take the tower on the left side, and it's going to be a good game, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next game. Okay guys, so from this part of the video, I will be showing you some of my top ladder videos. This is going to be top 100 ladder minimum, and these are the matchups that I didn't have a proper player that I could ask to be on my video. So this matchup is going to be Goblin Giant Sparky. Yeah, he does go for Sparky first play at the back. We can get a cannon down here. So he is using the Duchess Tower, so this is going to be the one Goblin Giant Sparky deck that is very popular, which has the E-Wiz and the E-Barbs as well. So I was expecting him to go for Goblin Giant at the bridge, but I think he didn't have it in cycle. So we can get a Knight down to distract this Sparky, and we can get a Goblin Sign down on the left side. He does go for a very aggressive Goblin Giant on the bridge. I mean, that's normal for a Goblin Giant player. He does go for Rage as well, which is crazy. But yeah, so here he will have an Evo Goblin Giant and an Evo Zap as well. So we can get a graveyard down on the left side because he went for a very aggressive push on the tower, and the Doctor is gonna do a lot of damage on the tower as well. He does go for E-Barbs and Zap to clear out the graveyard, but still that did like 900 damage on the tower, so it is pretty nice. And we can get a Knight down as well to just cycle it to an Evo and just save our guards for his next Sparky push, because having guards instead of NATO is going to help a lot in this matchup because you can just surround the Sparky with guards. And even if he goes for Zap or Rage, if it's not an Evo Zap, then it's going to be very, very effective versus Sparky. Yeah, he does go for a Sparky at the back, so we can go for Goblin plus Graveyard on the opposite lane, especially because we are reaching double Elixir, and I think we are available to survive from this push totally. So we can get an Evo Cannon down to try to hit that Sparky 100%. Very nice here, and he will place something else. Yeah, he goes for E-Barbs and Dark Prince at the bridge as well. Evo Knight to tank for one Sparky hit as well. The Cannoneer Tower is tanking, is targeting the Sparky, so the Sparky is cleared out. The Ice Wizard and the Cannoneer is actually clearing out that so well, guys. We can get a Knight down as well. He does go for Goblin Giant, but we already have Knight plus Ice Wizard for the perfect defense, guys. What a defense, guys. So versus Sparky decks, it's very important for you to get your proper aggressive plays on the opposite lane and try to defend properly by kiting the Goblin Giant to the middle and get guards or a Knight plus Ice Wizard to slow down the Sparky and DPS it down with the Cannoneer. I'll see you guys in the next game. The next matchup that we will be covering is Goblin Drill. The Goblin Drill will 100% have an Evo Snowball in the same deck, especially because the combo is actually amazing. It is one of the most powerful combos in the current game right now. It is actually just used every single time in one of the duels in CRL as well. That's how powerful the deck itself is. So he does go for Goblin Drill. We can go for a cannon to predict his Goblin Drill at the front. That's at the side, unfortunately, so we will get one Goblin Stab. So especially in this matchup, the most important thing, as I told you in the previous other matchups as well, is to keep track of your opponent's Evo cycle. But in this matchup, it's especially more important because you have to have your cannon at the top when your opponent has an Evo Snowball in cycle. We can go for Graveyard plus Ice Wizard to clear out those skeletons for the Goblin Stein monster. And actually, we can get a poison down for the Goblin Demolisher as well. He does go for one Snowball, so he needs one more Snowball to cycle to his Evo. And I think he's going to put... Yeah, he goes for his skeletons to protect his Goblin Demolisher to hit the tower. But yeah, we do know that he was going to go for it, so we had a cannon down right away. And because he has a poison spell, this could be kind of tricky, but we can get a Knight down for the Demolisher. We can get guards down. We have the Barbell ready, and as soon as we just see our opponent going for Snowball on the tower, we just go for Barbell straight away. You have to be ready for your Goblin Drill, for your opponent's Goblin Drill pushes right there. Yeah, so the guards do a lot of damage on the left side as well. So versus Goblin Drill, especially when your opponent has a big spell like a poison, I prefer to go opposite lane because I want to utilize my 3-card cycle with the Goblin Sign, and if I don't have the proper if I go for same lane, then I can't utilize it because your opponent will snipe your Goblin Stein with the poison spell right there. And we do go for Evil Knight on the left side as well. Now I think we can get a Graveyard push on the left side because he used a lot of Elixir to counter our Goblin Stein on the right side. So we can get a Barbell down for the skeletons, and we can get a poison down for the Demolisher. Just try to poison the Demolisher every single time, because if they stack up Demolishers, then it's going to be very tricky for you to defend. He does go for a Goblin Drill in the opposite lane, so we can get guards down for the Drill, Knight for the Ice Spirit, and get a Barbell down if he goes for an Evo Snowball because he has it in cycle, but he doesn't go for it. So we do save our Barbell right now. And it's also very important for you to just save your Barbell every single time if your opponent has an Evo Snowball in cycle, because if you don't have a Barbell or any small spell, if you're using it under the deck and your opponent has an Evo Snowball with the Drill, then it's going to be very tough for you to defend. So we can get a cannon down for the Demolisher. We can get a guards down for the Goblin Drill right there. Yeah, he goes for an Evo Snowball right now, so we can get a Barbell right now to get a perfect defense on the tower. We can get a Knight down plus Graveyard on the left side. He does bridge block perfectly, but he does go for a poison on the tower, so this is going to be fine. The skeletons will get a few hits as well. We are in a very good lead, like 1k lead right now, so yeah. So we can get a cannon down right now, and yeah, he does go for a Goblin Drill on the side as well, so we do allow him to get one hit on the tower, but the Barbarian will clear out the Demolisher, so it's going to be fine. Because it's going to be triple elixir, we went for a Goblin Stein at the back to utilize the 3-card cycle once again. We can get an Evo Knight down on the left side, get a Graveyard down as well. We can get a Barbarrel down because he doesn't have Evo Snowball in cycle right now. And we have the guards for his drill if he goes for one, and I think he will not be able to. Yeah, he does get another cannon down because our Goblin Stein is in full HP, and if he doesn't get a cannon down, the Goblin Stein is free to get an ability down on the tower. So very nice here, and we can get an Ice Wizard down on the side that we are defending, get an Evo Cannon down, and we can get a Barbarrel down very late. He does go for a Snowball, but I don't think that's going to be much of a threat here. We can get a Cannon down again. We can get guards now. Okay, he does go for an Evo Snowball, and we don't have Barbarian Barrel in cycle, so we had to go for an Evo Knight, unfortunately. But we do get a Goblin Stein plus Graveyard down on the left side. He does bridge block it with the Evo Cannon, but we get a Barbarian Barrel down to clear out that cannon as soon as possible. Get a cannon down if he goes for a drill, and that's going to be a good game, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next game. The next matchup that we will be covering is Loon 2.9, and Loon 2.9 is one of the easiest matchups that we had in the past. If we had NATO, it was actually one of the easiest matchups that we will be willing to face in the game. But with guards instead of NATO, this has been actually one of the difficult matchups that I would not like to face in top ladder, unfortunately, because they have an Evo Musketeer in their deck, and cannon is our only kind of way to kite your opponent's balloon. And even though the Cannoneer Tower kind of helps out, it's still going to be very difficult to defend the opponent's double balloon pushes if he goes for a balloon at the back and gets an Evo Musk down at the middle to snipe the cannon. So we do get a Graveyard down on the right side. I think in this matchup, it's very important for you to be aggressive in single elixir, especially because they don't have a very good counter to our Graveyard except for the Musketeer, which they have to cycle forcefully to get to an Evo Musketeer in double elixir. We do get guards down for the Miner. They would usually go for Miner at the back because they need the Miner trip damage rather than going for Miner sniping on the cannon, because the Miner will die anyways to the tower if they go for Miner at the middle to snipe the cannon. So we do get a poison down on the Musketeer. It will not die, but if that will die to the Cannoneer. If he gets skeletons down on the Musketeer, we get a Barbarrel down. He doesn't, so this is going to be fine. So next Musketeer will be Evo. We can get a Barbarrel down for the Evo Snowball. I don't know what that Evo skeletons were for, but still, it's good for us. And yeah, we can get a Knight down on the right side. And we just have to watch out for the giant balloon push that he will be running here right now. So he did have Evo Snowball, Evo Skeletons in cycle for the Graveyard, so we can get a Graveyard down on the right side. No need to poison because he will try to save his Evo Musketeer for offense. Yeah, we can go for guards to save our Goblin Stein Doctor. Very nice. We can get a cannon down. I don't think he's going to go for an Evo Musketeer in this push right now. Okay. We can get an Ice Wizard down here because the right side tower is just distracted by that Barbarian on the right side, and we can get an Evo Knight plus Graveyard. He does go for a good bridge block with the Ice Golem, and this push is going to be scary, guys. So yeah, he goes for a balloon right there. We can get an Ice Wizard here, not going for cannon at the middle, but cannon kind of at the left corner right there, which is going to kite pretty well. And we are in a very good lead, but still we are not like 100% winning this game right here. We can get a Goblin Stein. Okay, wait, we are in trouble, guys. We can get a Barbarrel down, get an Ice Wizard immediately. We can get a cannon now down, but the Miner is tanking so well for that Cannoneer Tower. We get the guards down, but still, I think we're gonna get 2 hits on the tower, and he does get a new balloon down, guys. This is not looking good, but we can get an Ice Wizard down right away. We need to go for a Barbarrel. We do get death damage on the tower, but still, I think we have a chance, maybe. Please. Okay, the tower is down to 233. The Miner was targeting the Barbarrel. We can get Knights plus guards. No, we failed to catch it. Wait. We have to go for a naked Graveyard on the left side. And the poison, I think. Poison on 0. He does go for bomb tower on defense. Okay, we do catch the Evo Skeletons as well. Please, 1 hit. Okay. Let's go, guys. Very nice win. And I'll see you guys in the next game. In the next game, you're up against this guy who is using the Duchess Tower. And he is using the most recent brain dead deck that everyone would approve. He is using the Goblin Machine, Goblin Giant, plus the Evo Inferno Dragon, which is going to be very, very tough for us to defend because he has the Goblin Curse as well. And especially the Evo Idrag is going to be a challenge for us to defend because the only reset that we have is going to be the Goblin Doctor. And the Goblin Doctor is not guaranteed to be on top of the Evo Idrag. So we can get a cannon down for his push right here. So I think the biggest tip that I have versus an Evo Idrag deck is just going to be to kill the Evo Idrag 100%, meaning that just poison the Evo Idrag, get an Evo Cannon spawn damage, and get a few Ice Wizard hits to clear out the Evo Idrag every single time it spawns. So, or get a Goblin Sign Doctor ability down, that could work as well. But a fully charged Inferno Dragon would just melt down the whole Goblin Sign monster, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. But still, we can get a Knight down on the right side. He does go for an Inferno Dragon, so we have to save our poison here. I think we can go for an Ice Wizard for the Inferno Dragon, and yeah, we can get a Bar Barrel down to kite that Inferno Dragon so that we save our Ice Wizard right there. Okay, and we can get a Goblin Sign down behind the King Tower once again, so that even if the Goblin Machine just hits the Goblin Sign monster, it doesn't hit the Goblin Sign Doctor with it as well. So here I think we are in a pretty good spot because he wasted his Boss Bandit and he went for a ability which is kind of bad right now. He only has guards for our graveyard, but still we have a lot of troops supporting the graveyard with the Evil Knights in full HP plus the Ice Wizard plus the Doctor as well. We do get an ability down, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, it is not on the Inferno Dragon, but still, it is good that he has to waste his Evo Inferno Dragon on defense, and that it doesn't have to be used on offense in a gigantic push like this. He went for a Goblin Machine at the back, so we can go for a Goblin Sign at this spot once again. So versus any Goblin Machine decks, just make sure that you place your Goblin Sign at that spot so that your Goblin Sign Doctor doesn't get sniped by the Goblin Machine just randomly. So we can't go for a Graveyard here because he has a Boss Bandit down. We can go for guards for the Boss Bandit. We can get a Knight down as well to clear out that Boss Bandit as soon as possible. Get a Barbarian Barrel down to kite the Goblin Machine right there. He does go for an Evo Zap. We can get an Evo Cannon down. No, we missed the Evo Cannon, guys. But we can get a Knight down, which is fine. And the Goblin Machine is not a big threat unless the Goblin Machine rocket is targeting towards the tower, and we can get a Graveyard down on the right side. He does go for Curse on defense, which was a pretty good idea, I guess. It cleared out all my troops, but still the tower is down to 1576, so we just need to defend properly here. We can get a cannon down for the Giant, Knight to kite for the Goblin Machine again. We can get guards down for the Boss Bandit, Barbarian Barrel as well. He does get a Curse down, meaning that he doesn't have Curse for defense, so we can get a very nice Graveyard counter push, I think, here. Okay. Okay, we can go for a Graveyard counter push right on the right side, going for Goblin Sign plus Graveyard. Very nice. Okay, he went for Inferno Dragon at the back, meaning that the Goblin Sign monster is guaranteed to go to the tower. We can get a poison down. I think we can get an ability down as well. Wait, that's tower, guys. Very nice win, guys. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video today. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment on how you thought of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.